She wrote long into the wee hours of morning with her lamp burning. She was immensely interested in the new waves of psychological thought floating around these days and made it her business to be up on all the latest writings of the day. Each of the psychology books she had read concerning dreams and the inner psyche got her thinking about what her dream could have possibly meant. She spent hours analyzing the possibilities in her sketchbook and tried to draw pictures of what the visitor in her dreams looked like before she finally stretched out and yawned. To write my way out of these walls with a pen. At that moment, the quilt covering her legs fell to the floor. She was about to reach for it again when she heard a timid, "Are you going to stand up now?" It was a small but familiar voice. Harriet's heart quickened. Had she fallen back asleep? She turned, and sure enough, there was her little friend that she had spent all night analyzing and obsessing over. He peered back at her inquisitively from the curtain by the window, where she had seen him before with his head tilted and one ear flopped to the side. "How did you get in?" "I don't need to use doors and passageways, the same as you do." He had such a strange and proper way of speaking. She smiled and looked down when suddenly she realized there was something that she hadn't noticed before. "What? Where?" was all she could sputter out. Her leg braces, the metal bindings, were gone. "No longer will you have use of those shackles." "But I don't understand. My legs don't look like my legs. What has happened to me?" she asked in a near panic. "Shh." He put a paw up to his whiskers. "You'll signal the red giant. She must not know. She must not see." See. Realizing he must mean her nanny. How can she see anything when I'm only dreaming?" He gave her a smile and gently hopped up to her side. He had never been so close to a human on this side before. His little pink nose bobbed up and down, and he sniffed cautiously. Yes, she was a good one. He could see it in her eyes. He could see it in the color of her soul. He was always right about these things. He could trust her. "You are not dreaming. Here." He put out his paw. She breathed in and, surprising herself, took it. He hopped backward facing her as she slowly stood up from her chair. Her legs wobbled a moment before she could take a step. And then another, and another. Tears streamed down her face. Gone was her limp. Gone were the misshapen limbs she had always known, and in their place were two perfectly shaped, straight legs. A sob caught in her throat as she whispered, It's a miracle." She pulled at the edge of her sleeve to wipe her eyes. Then she found a sudden bolt of energy. "If this is a dream, I don't ever want to wake." She ran from one end of the room to the other and landed with a face full of pillows on her soft princess bed. She laughed. She cried. She laughed and cried at once. The rabbit turned quickly. "You've been given a gift, but in return you must never tell anyone about me. No one can ever know what happened here. If they do, it could very well mean the end of my race. But that can't be, since I'm here to help save it." Harriet took a deep breath. This was all very hard to take in. Best to begin with the basics. "I still don't know what to call you." "It's just Flynn." He then swooped down into a deep, gentlemanly bow. "You may call me Flynn, milady." "Well, Sir Flynn," she said, as she drew herself up into a curtsy. "Thank you very kindly. It is a pleasure to meet you." End of chapter 1.